Very good morning to everyone. So today we are going to be discuss about a topic called as programming paradigms. So in programming paradigms, we are going to discussing about both the things we are going to be talking, the programming paradigms as well as the object-oriented concepts. Object-oriented concepts also called as principles. Now, program means already you're aware set of instructions. Paradigm is nothing but is a model or a methodology. Which methodology you are going to using for doing of this? So that is going to talk about the paradigm. Let me have this. We are following this book and also some of the other resources I am following. Now, before going to start in programming paradigms, we are having two paradigms. Normally, generally, programming paradigms are two. Before going to start the two paradigms, let me have some sort of stuff we need to understand. All computer programs consisting of two elements. One is the data, another is the code. Now, this code and data combinedly together form a computer program. As I said, you object oriented, combining a software or a program into two parts, that is a code and the data. Further, a program can conceptually can organize around its code or around its data. Maybe based on the data you are going to be writing the code, how the data will come, how we need to be make that, or else based on the code, around the code, the program can be structured. Example, when you enter into the ATM machine, automatically something is going on the screen, like it's showing some offers, how to apply, what to do, welcome here, COVID instructions, or some home loans, like video will playing on in SBI ATM machines, like something is going on. That is around its code, it is going on, around its code, it will be goes on one after the other. Or else based on the data, you enter the ATM card, it is asking English language or some language, or again once you selected the language, ask for pin number. So based on the data you are giving, the code is going on, it is around the data. Without giving any data, normally the program is going to executing, then it is called as around its code. Now some programs are written what is happening, and some programs are writing around who is being affected. So what is happening, just to understand clearly what is actually going on, like when you installing any software, it is going as progress bar is going on. What is happening internally, it is executing some programs. Now sometimes who is being affected, now when you are giving some input, it reacting for that input. So when trigger an event, some action has to come over there. Like this the things are going on. So these 3 points are very important. Any computer program can have a two elements, code and data, and programs are run around its code or run around its data, or programs are written for what is happening or what is who is being affected. Now two types of paradigms we are having. First one, process oriented model, also called as structure oriented, also called as top down. The second one, object oriented programming, is also called as bottom up design. So process oriented in the sense like in the C structured program. So best example for process oriented is a C, best example for object oriented is Java. Now coming to the process oriented means a program has organized a series of linear steps. You are going to be writing step by step. So that is code. So this going to be model thought as code acting on data. So the code is acting based on the data. So that is the linear steps, how you are going to writing the series of steps you are writing. That steps is called as a code. Now this is done in process oriented. Coming to the object oriented, it organizes a program around its data. That is objects. So and also on set of well-defined interfaces to that data. Say for example, when you touch some object in the screen, when you want to touch, some interface is there. What is the interface you are going to using? Touch. When you are giving normal, with the help of keyboard as an interface, with the help of a mouse as an interface, you can operate some type of objects or something you can give it. Now it is the process oriented is depends on around its code, and whereas object oriented depends on around its objects as well as on interfaces. So in object oriented program can be characterized as data controlling access to code. Now who is controlling here? Data as controlling access to the code, whereas here code is going to be acting on data. Now here is data is controlling to access the code. So the example for process oriented is C, and example for object oriented is Java. Now coming to the next part as object oriented concept, already we discussed in one of the buzzword of Java, that is object oriented. Some of the concepts like object, class, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. Object oriented concept also be called as principles. In examination, don't be confused. Object oriented concept means not principles. Principle didn't discuss. So principles also called as object oriented concept. The first object oriented programming language as Simula. The first programming language which is proposed is Simula. But when you see the programming paradigm where everything has represented an object, then it is called as true. That is truly object-oriented programming language. When you are representing everything as object, then it is called as truly object-oriented programming. So the first truly object-oriented programming has considered as Smalltalk. So normal partial programming, object-oriented programming is Smalltalk, whereas truly object-oriented programming is Smalltalk. That is partial object-oriented programming, similar. Truly object-oriented programming is Smalltalk. Now coming to that, object means, as I said, you real-time world entity, that is a pen, a chair, a table, something. Now coming to the definition of OOP, object-oriented programming, is a methodology or a paradigm to design a program using what classes and objects. Now how you're designing a C program? With the help of the header files, with the help of the concepts like the variables, the control statements, with the help of all, you are going to be designing a program in C. How you are designing a program in object oriented means with the help of classes and objects. Okay, so it going to be how an object oriented simply gives to develop software and to maintain this some of the object oriented concept we are using OOP paradigm. Now some of the concepts are object, class, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation. Now see one by one. What is an object? As I said you, any entity that has state and behavior is known as object. Means a real-time world entity is called as an object. Now I'm saying this is a book. So the currently the book state is on the table. Now when I'm moving, when I have performed some action on the particular book, when I have carried this book and keep in my rack, then the behavior has applied. So currently the state of the book is on the table, and next the state of the book is on the rack. So an entity having the state as well as behavior. When you apply some action on a particular current state, the state position of the object has moved, right? When you perform some action, when you have performed some behavior on that particular object, then only the states of the objects as entities are changed, right? Until unless you apply some behavior on that particular object or entity, the state of that entity will not be changed. So examples are in the right hand side figure, chair, pen, table, etc. So object is a both physical as well as logical one. Now coming to the class, collection of object is called as a class. A class is a logical entity. A class is a logical entity, whereas an object is a physical as well as logical entity. Now coming to this, here we are showing in the figure some of the examples of a class. These are some of the examples for a class. This is example 1, example 2, example 3, example 4. These are the examples. Now this is name of the class here, name, and this is the name of the class here is student. The name of this class is circle. The name of this class is user player. The name of the class is car. Now in C you have a structures, right? Hope you remember. Stuck, name of the structure, like student. You have a structure. Inside the structure we have the name, and if you want that names here called as attributes, also called as variables, also called as members of this one, name, GPA, all these are the variables for student class. What are the attributes or variables or members for circle class? Radius, color. What are the attributes for user player? Name, number, x location, y location. What are the attributes for car? Plate number, x location, y location, speed. Now coming to here, we have some functions in C. Now here also we have some methods. They are called as functions, here called as methods. These are dynamic behavior. Now get name, set GPA or the methods for student class. Get radius, get area is the methods for circle. If you hope remember, please make sure that here observe carefully. Get name, the first word of this method, first character is small. The second word of this method is first character is capital. So in methods, every second word, if the method consisting of two words, the second word first character will be capital. The first character of the first word is a small letter. Get name, N is capital. Get GPA, G is capital. Get radius, R is capital. Get area, A is capital. Now here run, single word, so there is no second word. Jump, single word. Kick ball, so two is there words, so B capital. Now in the car, the methods are move, park, accelerator, or all single words, right? So a class is a collection of objects. Now the next the part of the principle is inheritance. Inheritance is nothing but acquiring. When one object acquires all the properties as well as behaviors of parent object is known as inheritance. The best example, parent child. Child is acquiring all the properties and behavior of a father or a parent. So this acquiring person is called as child. From where it is acquiring is called as parent. So parent, from the parent, the child is acquiring the properties as well as behavior because of their having the genes, right? So it provides the inheritance for code reusability, and it achieves through runtime polymorphism. So how you can achieve inheritance in Java is with the help of runtime polymorphism. These are the interview questions. Now example in this one, vehicle. A vehicle may be a land vehicle, on road vehicle, or a water vehicle. On-road vehicle are like example car, truck, or hovercraft is a both land vehicle as well as water vehicle, right? So water vehicle is both. Both are vehicles, but the way they are going to be acquiring is different. So vehicles, from the vehicles only they are acquiring the properties, right? The next one is polymorphism. Polymorphism. So poly is nothing but many, morphism nothing but mapping. So one task, when one task is performed by different ways, is known as polymorphism. So particular one single task you are going to performing with a different ways. Say example, to convince the customer differently. Like a business or a salesperson can need to purchase, need to sold a product to a customer. Now based on the customer, they are going to be conveying in a such a manner. From customer to convert, they are going to be having different ways. Product is same, giving to for the different customers, but how you are going to be solding that product to that different customers is the best example for polymorphism. To draw something, example, from a shape you can draw a rectangle. See in the figure, from a shape you can draw a line, you can draw a triangle, you can draw a rectangle, you can draw a circle. So these are the different ways. Task is one, shape is one, from that shape you can draw all the four. Another example, speak something. So example, human being is speaking in one language, whereas cat speaks in meow language, or in the dog barks is a oof in different. So in the human being again, the speaking is common, but the way of speaking, somebody can speak in English, somebody can speak in Telugu, somebody can speak in Hindi, somebody can speak in Tamil, different ways. Ways are different. The task is what? Speak, right? So this polymorphism can be achieved in the Java through method or overloading and method overriding. With the help of these two concepts, polymorphisms can be achieved. The next principle is abstract. That is abstraction. Hiding internal details and showing functionality is known as abstraction. Best example we are going to talking about, say for example, is phone call. Just you are taking a phone and you're just go to the contacts and dial a number. Now it connected. It shows the functionality whether it is connecting or not. But internally, how the call goes to first to which tower, from which tower to which tower, how internal operation, how the logic is internally running, everything will not known. We don't know about that one. They're going to be hiding the internal details. So that is one example. So another example, vehicle, we are saying as car, bus, truck, but we are not saying which type of car it is. What is, whether it is a top end model, whether it's a normal model, whether it's automatic car or it's a gear car. Some all the details you are going to be hiding. Just we are saying vehicle means a car or a bus or a truck. We are not saying which type of bus, whether it's a super luxury bus or is a any other luxury buses or AC buses, which type of bus, we are hiding that details. So hiding internal details and showing the functionality is known as abstraction. So this abstraction can be done in Java with the help of abstract class and with the help of interfaces. For the both help, we can do or can achieve abstraction. So please make sure remember this. If you see in the first one, inheritance is achieved through runtime polymorphism. Whereas runtime polymorphism, we can achieve inheritance. Through method overloading and method overriding, we can achieve polymorphism. Through abstract class and interface, we are going to be achieving abstraction. Okay. Next, the last one, encapsulation. Encapsulation, encryption, capsulation, binding or wrapping code and data, code as well as data together in a single unit. Then that unit is called as encapsulation. The example is capsule. So if you see the figure in this one, in the caps, in the normal, you have seen the capsule, right? In the capsule, we have small tablets, small cell type of size of tablets. Now inside that, it is going to be encoding with this capsule. So here, this is the class, the first cap. The next cap is variables and methods. So code and data both are going to be capsing, encryption, making a wrapping or binding into one single unit. That unit called as encapsulation. The another example of this one is Java class. What will be there in a normal program? There is a code as well as some declaration of the variables, that is data. So combining a class and methods, variables, and as well as class combining together to perform or to go as a doing encapsulation. So combination of class, methods, and variables is called as encapsulation, or simply code and data together wrapping or binding into a single entity is called as encapsulation. So through Java Bean is not in our syllabus. Through the Java Bean, we can achieve encapsulation. So that's about this today topic. This what we have discussed is programming paradigm. So we have two types of paradigms, that is process oriented and object oriented. Before know that, you have to understand a computer program can consisting of a data, two elements, one is data, another is code. Any program can run around its code or run around its data. We can return the program for what is happening, or we can write the program for what is being affected. So for process oriented, linear steps, that is series of linear steps you perform, that is a code. And process oriented, it depends on the structure. It is characterized, the program can be characterized as code acting on data. Whereas object oriented programming as deals with objects. And the best example for object oriented programming is Java. So object oriented programming can be characterized on data controlling access to code. And these are the principles or object oriented concept. And object programming language is similar. Truly object oriented programming is Smalltalk. And the definition of object oriented programming is a methodology or a paradigm. What purpose we are using OOP is to design a program using classes and objects. So an object is a real-time entity which consists of state and behavior, where object is a physical and logical entities, whereas class is a collection of object and is only a logical entity. Inheritance, acquiring the properties of parent, properties and behavior of a parent, is called as inheritance. Through the runtime polymorphism, we are going to be achieving this inheritance. Now, polymorphism, one task is performed by different ways. The best way to achieve the polymorphism is with the help of method overloading and method overriding. Abstraction, hiding the interliters and showing the functionality, is called as abstraction. Through abstract class and interface, we are achieving abstraction. The last one, encapsulation, binding the code and data into together and forming a single entity, is called as abstraction, encapsulation. Java Bean is the best example for this. So that's about the programming paradigm as well as principles or object oriented concepts.